Hey everybody, this is Andy Bennett with the CSS News Civil War Interpretive Center. I'm here at Governor Charles B. Aycock birthplace for video 6 on my series of cultural influences on Southern cuisine. In this video, we're talking about contributions from Asia. We didn't have a lot of Asian immigrants settle in the South during our formation of colonial period, but later on we did. Think of Ang and Chang, the famous Siamese twins. They were North Carolinians. They settled in North Carolina and raised their family. And there's others who came here through our seaports, through trade, especially whaling and trade as trade ships in later time went all over the world. It settled here. But the main contribution to Southern cuisine comes through trade, through the spices and sauces and food items brought back from different places. Also through the British connection to India, they brought in food traditions and spices through things like curries, through chutneys, different relishes, and pickles have a direct connection to India. We'll talk about some of those spices that you might be familiar with that we use in cooking. Here's some of them here. You're familiar with cinnamon, a bark from off the island in India, right? Nutmeg. So whole nutmeg is a seed pod of a plant from Indonesia. And when this harvested, it has a red webby outer coating and membrane. That's mace. The spice we use, mace, comes from the two. So two spices come from the same plant. We also have cloves. You grab a clove here. They're tiny. You've probably used spiked them in oranges and things. That is the bud. That's the bud of a flower of a tree from Indonesia. Right, so we're used to these spices. It's a spice we put in pumpkin pies and maybe sweet potato pies and put in cakes and buns and all kinds of sweets, right? So it's not just spicy peppers and chilies. We get these spices from all over Southern Asia. The spice, the flavor licorice comes from star anise, which is also from Asia. Also think about one of the most common spices on your table is black pepper, and that's also from India. So the spices we put on our food and we flavor our food with have come from Asia and have the Asian influence. There's some other things that we use to make our food more tasty. Let's think about sauces. A lot of kids enjoy ketchup on their French fries. Do you know ketchup has its origin in Asia? Yeah, it does. This is a mushroom ketchup, right? And I'm going to get to that in a second, the recipe to make that. That's going to be our recipe for this video. But you hear the debate between ketchup and ketchup, right? Catsup and ketchup. Really, in reality, one of them, those words, catsup, probably comes from China, and it refers to a fermented fish paste sauce. And ketchup comes from Indonesia or maybe Malaysia, and that also means basically a fermented fish sauce. What's going on? What is ketchup? Well, in ancient Rome, they had this stuff called garum. They would take fish, they would send them out in the sun, their guts would rupture and create this oily substance they called garum, and they put it on everything. They were addicted to it, and it was really valuable as gold. Well, it traveled back on the Silk Road to Asia, where they added in their own spices and developed what we know as catsup or ketchup. That early fish sauce with spices and stuff, we still have it around today in things like Worcestershire sauce. If you look at the back of that, it's got anchovies in it and some of these spices, Asian spices. And some of our steak sauces the same way have basically those components in it. Well, let's say you live somewhere you didn't have access to fish. Well, that goes back to this mushroom ketchup. Why people like this sauce is the fish has natural glutamates or monosodium glutamate, MSG, in it, which is an addictive substance. It helps preserve food and its color and improve taste, but it's addictive. They settled on mushrooms because mushrooms also have naturally occurring glutamate. So if you couldn't get fish, they used mushrooms instead to make that ketchup. Later on, as taste change, they start using tomatoes and various fruits and vegetables to make other ketchups or ketchups. Right? The recipe we're doing today, mushroom ketchup, comes from Virginia housewife from 1824. So early in American history, we have those Asian influences. Basically in this recipe, which will have details, it's just mushrooms, garlic, and ground cloves. You take the mushrooms, you cut them up, you put salt on them, you let them weep out their juice, all that juice. You grind them into a paste. You add your garlic and clove and put it into a bottle, and you kind of let that ferments a little bit, and you put that on sauce. It's going to have those natural glutamates and flavor. And so the Asian contribution to our food is spicing up, flavoring up our dishes, where we take the blend, whether it's our ingredients from here in America, ingredients from Africa, ingredients from Europe, the cooking traditions of all of those different groups, spices and sauces and ingredients from Asia, and they mix together. So Southern food, just like in Western Africa, Southern food is a fusion, a blend of world food. So Southern food, we call it Southern food, soul food. Down home cooking food is the first fusion food in America. Hope you enjoyed this video series. This is the last video. Hope you'll try out some recipes from this series. And as always, join us on CSS News Civil War Interpretive Center for videos on our Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.